I have to say, I really enjoy video games.
Oh, hello. I didn't notice you there. Well, you asked me about video games. Well, I love video games. Well, for one thing, video games are part of my daily life. I personally like first-person shooters, third-person shooters. It doesn't really matter to me, as long as it has guns in it, or weapons of some sort to kill somebody.
Console games, it's just basic. Everything is in your hands. Whereas when you're playing on the PC, you know, everything's macro to your keyboard, so there are more options, but it's a bit more complicated to pick up. Mac games don't exist. Photoshop doesn't count.
Well, the main reason I enjoy video games is because the way it makes me feel on the inside. It feels like I'm completing a goal that I wouldn't be able to complete in real life.
Well, I'm pretty much a renaissance man when it comes to games. I'll play anything you give me, and it's just a matter of what the quality of the game is. I'm not a big fan of the sports games, and although I do enjoy Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, extremely entertaining. I love every single one of them.
I also like MMORPGs, mass multiplayer online games. Now, I also like regular RPGs, but just mass multiplayer part gives me a second thrill, kind of knowing that everybody that I make friends with the game are real people.
The difference between playing a single-player game and a multiplayer game is that people around the globe can see how great you are and be jealous of your high scores. When you play online, like MMORPGs, massive multiplayer online RPGs, role-playing games, I feel like I can really bond with the character. Being a wizard and all, being a warrior, it's quite an adventure for me.
What a Momorphiger provides is an escape from reality.
Guns is one of my favorite online games, with RuneScape as well. You know, I love to be a wizard.
It's one thing to escape your situation, but it's another thing to fix it. I think a Momorphiger is kind of detrimental to someone's self-esteem.
The graphics isn't all the game. As long as you can see the game and it's okay, I'm pretty good with it, as long as it's fun to play. Because I think in a game, the more fun you have, and that's all that matters.
Graphics are very important. Even if the game sucks and the graphics are good, I'll go to IGN.com, check those out, get a few screenshots, that's it.
Well, I think that gameplay is more important than graphics, but if you have the good gameplay, then graphics do add a nice touch. Personally, it's fun to look at, but gameplay is everything.
The story is sometimes important, sometimes not really important. When a game has a good story, then I say, well, I don't really care about the story. Other things could have been better. If the game has a crappy story and good gameplay, then I complain that the game has a crappy story. The story could have been better. The gameplay doesn't matter. And personally, I just like to complain about this stuff.
Story is very relevant. I think that you don't need a story to have an entertaining game.
To me, the story is not so important. I say the gameplay is what counts.
I'd have to say I'd rather have something with no story rather than something with a horrible story. Resident Evil.
I was impressed the first time I played Resident Evil 4. My friend brought it over, GameCube. I was actually quite afraid. We did dim the lights, so that may have added to the ambiance, but it was very intense.
Well, violence in video games, as everyone says, is excessive. Well, in my personal opinion, is just right. You can go and kill a person. It gives you that extra thrill that you can't get in real life.
Video games aren't violent enough. In Grand Theft Auto, are there little children? No. People in wheelchairs? No. Nuns? I haven't seen any.
Manhunt 2 has awesome violence. In Manhunt 2, you can take a pen, a regular day pen, stab somebody in the eye, rip open their guts. Manhunt 2 has this function where in the kill button, the longer you hold, the more gruesome the kill is going to be. You can take a crowbar, a fire hydrant, anything you want. ESRB does a very good job in rating the games. If a game is too violent, you usually know it's a violent game. And it's good for people who are doesn't want to play a certain type of game. Like they say sexual content or mature violence. So if somebody doesn't want to play a game with sexual content, they can just go to the back panel. But the rating system is pretty nice, and so that a 6-year-old can't just go to a video game store and accidentally pick up a really violent game like Manhunt 2 and end up traumatized.
Some games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy have amazing scores that are, you know, like even to this day, I love every song from Chrono Trigger.
A rhythm game is, for example, Guitar Hero or Rock Band, which came out recently. It's an amazing game.
Yeah, what a rhythm game is basically is a game that's basically a pattern. You want to be a rock star and you want to be, you know, glamorous and energetic.
In my opinion, classic games are the best type of games because they're fun to play, they're easy to play. Every time you die, it's not like one of those newer day games where you die, you have to restart a level, you have to go through all these traps. In a classic game, you run around, jump on turtles, hit your head on a block, get points, and rescue the princess.
Well, basically the allure of classic games is it takes you back to a simpler time where it wasn't about story or graphics or, you know, it was just about completing an objective. That's why I love games like Mario, the original Sonic. I mean, they had storyline, but it's like save the princess, get to the end of the level.
It's not saving the princess that matters. For me, it's jumping on those turtles.
I've never saved a princess, no.